the turtle who stopped the river in a peaceful forest filled with singing birds, buzzing bees, and tall green trees. There lived a quiet, wise turtle named Togo. Togo was old, with a smooth brown shell and gentle eyes. He didn't speak much, didn't run around like monkeys, and didn't sing like the birds. But whenever he spoke, the whole jungle listened. He lived by the edge of the river, near the bend, where the water was calm and cool. Every morning, Togo would slowly walk to the riverbank, take a deep breath, and smile. This river feels life, he would say to the trees, animals, and me. All the animals respected Togo, and the elephants asked for his advice. The frog told him jokes. Even the grumpy crocodile would nod politely when Togo passed by. But one day, something strange happened. The river was always flowed fast and clear, began to slow down. The birds first noticed the water is not moving as it should, said the kingfisher. Then the first fish began to panic. The current is weak. We will get stuck. Soon, water turned muddy. Frogs croaked loudly. Trees, green each, became droop. Togo slowly made his way to the center of the forest, where the animals gathered in worry. The river is changing, said the deer. Something is wrong. It should be blocked, said the owl. Maybe a tree has fallen upstream. Togo looked up. Then shall I go and see? The animal gasped. You? But Togo, you are old and slow, said the parrot. The jungle is far in danger, added the fox. Togo smiled gently. Sometimes even the slow steps can save the day. And with that, he began his journey, one step at a time. He walked through the thick jungle, over the roots and rocks, although through the grass and thorny bushes. Horns passed. The sun rose high and then began to fall, but Togo kept walking. Finally, he reached a part of the river no animal visited ever, and what he saw made him heart shrink. A giant tree had fallen across the river, blocking it completely. Behind it, the water has piled up. In front, it was barely moving. Animals were trapped both the sides. Oh dear, Togo whispered. This is bad. Suddenly he heard a cry. Help, help! It was a family of otters stuck between the rocks and rising water. I will help you, Togo called, slowly climbing down. With a great effort, he lifted his heavy shell and pushed a rock aside. Go now, he said. The otter swam out safe, but the water was rising fast now. The tree was heavy, too heavy for one turtle. Togo looked down, around. I must stop more water from building up. He had an idea. He crawled into a small space near the tree trunk and wedged his body tightly, using a strong shell as a barrier. The water hit him fast and rough cold, but he held on. Hours passed. The parrots were getting very scary. In the jungle, the animals were searching for Togo. Everyone was asking, where is Togo? We must find him. A group of brave animals followed his path. The animals, the elephants, the monkey, the deer, the fox, and even the grumpy crocodile rushed towards the blocked river. When they arrived, they saw something incredible. Togo was holding the water and his shell, trying to shake but brave. He is saving us. We must help. With a loud roar, the animals pushed together. The elephants used their trunk, the crocodile bit into the log, and the monkeys tugged vines. Crack. The tree moved. Crash. The water burst forward clean and fresh. The river flowed again. Togo was washed gently to the bank. Togo, are you okay? He opened his eyes and smiled. I'm a bit wet, Forest cheered. The night, under the stars, the animal lit lanterns and sang songs. Togo wrapped in leaves and resting in the river, listening slightly. And you didn't just stop the river, Togo, said the wise soul. You stopped fear and gave us hope. And from that day on, the river bend where Togo lived was called Turtle's Turn, a place where every animal remembered that even the slowest and the quickest among us can be the strongest and bravest. So kids, that's it for today's video. Wait a second, the moral of the story is true courage is not about speed or strength, but the heart to help when others are in need. Even the small step can make the big difference. So kids, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Today I have got you a very interesting story. The title of the story is The Peacock's Pride, the Tale of Humility. In a beautiful jungle filled with tall trees and colorful flowers and flowering rivers, there lived a peacock named Roy. He had most dazzling feathers in the entire forest. His tail sparkled with shades of blue, green, and gold. Whenever Roy spread his feathers, the other animals stopped and admired him. Roy loved the attention. He would walk proudly through the jungle, showing off his beautiful feathers. However, because of his beauty, he came proud and often looked down on the order of animals. One day his pride led him to make this mistake. Roy enjoyed hearing compliments about his feather, but whenever he met the other animals, he would say, "Look at my feathers. Have you seen anything so beautiful?" The little rabbit, the deer, and the squirrel all admired Roy, but they felt sad because he never appreciated them. One day, a kind turtle named Tim said, "Roy, beauty is not most important thing. A kind heart is always what truly makes someone special." Roy laughed loudly. "Oh, Tim, what do you know? You have heard a shell, no colors. You cannot understand what wonderful it seems to be admired." Tim shook his head and walked away, hoping that one day Roy would understand. One afternoon, dark clouds gathered in the sky. The jungle animals knew that it was a big storm coming. The wind started to blow fiercely, and soon heavy raindrops began to fall. All the animals quickly ran to find a shelter. The rabbits hid in the burrows, and the birds found safe spots in their nest, and the deer took cover on the thick trees. Roy, however, was worried about his feathers. "I must not get wet. My beautiful feathers will be ruined," he cried. He tried to run in a big tree, but the wind was too strong. His feather became heavy in the rain and making it difficult to move. Suddenly, he slipped in the mud and fell. As Roy struggled, he heard a gentle voice. "Do you need any help, Roy?" It was Tim, the turtle. Despite of the storm, he had helped him back. The Roy looked at Tim's teary eyes. "Yes, Tim, I was wrong. I was so proud of my feathers." Slowly, Tim cried, and Roy dropped the dry spot under a big tree. Roy was touched. "I was so proud of my feathers, and I forgot that it truly matters kindness and friendship." After the storm passed, Roy realized that the beauty fades, but the kindness and humility lasts forever. And from that day on, Roy was no longer proud. He still had beautiful feathers, but now he was also known for his kind heart. Whenever he met other animals, he no longer being boasted. Instead, he admired their struggles and helped those in need. And so, Roy, once proud peacock, became a humble and beloved friend in the jungle. Moral of the story is, true beauty comes from kindness and humility, not from appearance. So kids, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. The title of the story is The Clever Rabbit's Great Escape. Once upon a time, in a lush green forest, there lived a big, fierce lion named King Leo. He was the king of the jungle, and all the animals were scared of him. Every day, King Leo would hunt and eat whichever animal he wanted. This made the animals very happy and frightened. One day, all the animals decided to hold a meeting. They gathered under a big old tree to discuss how they could live peacefully without fearing the lion every day. The wise old tortoise suggested, "Why don't we talk to the King Leo and promise to send him one animal every day? This way, he won't have to hunt and we can live without fear." The animals agreed to his plan. The next day, they went to King Leo. The clever fox spoke on behalf of everyone. "Your Majesty, we would respect as your king. We are humble request. Instead of hunting us, we will send one animal to you every day as your meal. This way, you can rest, we can live peacefully." King Leo thought for a moment. He liked the idea for not having to hunt every day. "All right," he wrote, "but remember, if you fail in this to send an animal, I will hunt and kill as many as I want." The animals agreed and began spending one day animal daily to the lion. Days passed, all the animals lived peacefully, but deep down they were still sad as one animal from their group was sacrificed every day. One fine day, it was the turn of the clever rabbit. The rabbit was small but very smart. He didn't want to be lion's meal, so he came up with a plan to save himself for other animals. The rabbit walked slowly to lion's den, arriving very late. King Leo was furious.
"Why are you so late?" he roared. The rabbit bowed and said politely, "Oh, mighty king, I am very sorry for being late, but there is a reason." "What reason?" he growled. The rabbit replied, "As I was coming here, another lion stopped me. He said he is the real king of the jungle and that you are not strong enough to rule the forest. I tried to explain that you are the true king, but he wouldn't listen. He even wanted to eat me." King Leo's eyes burned with anger. "Another lion in my jungle? How dare he? Show me where he is. I will teach him a lesson." The clever rabbit nodded and said, "Follow me, Majesty. I will take you to him." The rabbit led King Leo to the deep well in the forest. As they reached the well, the rabbit pointed inside and said, "Your Majesty, the another lion is hiding in there." King Leo looked at the well and saw his own reflection in the water. He thought the another lion was staring him back. Enraged, he roared loudly. His roar echoed back from the well, making him think that another lion was roaring back. Furious King Leo jumped in the well and fight the Majesty lion. But the well was deep and King Leo couldn't climb out. He struggled and roared, but soon he drowned. The clever rabbit smiled and ran back to the other animals. He told them what had happened and they cheered and celebrated. The lion was gone and the forest was free from fear. From that day onwards, the animal lived happily and peacefully, always remembering how the clever rabbit saved them with quick thinking. The moral of the story is, kids, wisdom and cleverness are more powerful than strength. Even the smallest and the weakest can overcome the biggest challenges with smart thinking. So kids, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching.
The parrot who spoke the truth of the forest. In the middle of vast green sea, filled with tall trees, colorful flowers, and chirping birds, lived many animals. Some were big like elephants and tigers, some were small like rabbits and squirrels, and up in the trees lived a parrot named Mitra. Mitra was not an ordinary parrot. His feathers shone like emerald leaves, and his voice was sweet and clear. But what made Mitra truly special was this: he always spoke the truth, whether it was good news or bad news. Mitra never told lies. All the animals in the forest respected him for this. Whenever there was a problem, they would say, "Let's ask Mitra. He will help and tell the truth." But everyone liked the truth. Not. One day, a loud roar shook the forest. It came from the jungle king, Lion Rudra, who ruled the jungle from his own stone cave. "Call every animal to the riverbank tomorrow morning," Rudra shouted. "I have an announcement to make." Next morning, all the animals gathered by a big blue river. The sky was bright, but the air was full and tense. Lion King Rudra stood tall on the rock and said, "From today onwards, I shall build a new palace in the middle of the forest. To do this, I will cut down 50 trees." A murmur spread across the animals. The birds looked sad, the monkeys looked worried, and even the deer bowed their heads. Suddenly, then Mitra, the parrot, flew and spoke clearly. "But King Rudra, those trees are home to many ears and animals. If you cut them, where will the birds and the nest will go? Where will the bees go? Where will the shade come from?" Rudra growled. "Are you questioning your king? I am not only speaking the truth," said Mitra calmly. The lion roared. "Then you had to blame yourself. Don't take it to me." The Mitra was shocked. The forest was silent. The next day, workers began to cut the trees. The parrots flew away. The squirrels lost their home, and the monkeys cried for their favorite branches that fell. But Mitra did not give up. He fell from the tree to tree and talking to every animal. "We must protect our forest," he said. "It's not just a place to live, it's a life itself." Soon the animals began to whisper, "Maybe Mitra is right, but Rudra is strong. We are scared." One evening, Mitra went to visit Sadhu Baba, the wise old man who loved and lived at the edge of the jungle. "Baba," said Mitra, "the king lion destroyed our home. I want to stop him, but I am the only small bird." Sadhu Baba smiled gently. "Even a small match can light a fire," he said.
Speak the truth louder, the forest will hear you. The next morning, Mithra flew to the sky. He called out across the jungle with a sharp, sweet voice. Listen, my friends, the truth must not be silent. We are losing our trees, our homes, and in future, we may lose many more things. Jungle came alive. The frogs crowed louder, the owls shooted, and the monkeys were banging on the branches. The elephants trumpeted, and the forest echoed with one message: Save the trees, save our forest. And just then, Land Rudra could not sleep. The jungle was too noisy. The next day, he called out another meeting. I heard your cries, he said. Why are you making this noise? This is a time a young rabbit stood up. We were scared, Your Majesty, but we are also sad. We miss the shade, we miss the birds, and Mitra is right. Then old tortoise added, I have lived under these trees for 80 years. Not only just trees, they are my families. And then all the animals stood together. They turned to Mitra and flew from one place to another. Your Majesty, said Mitra kindly, you are the king of the jungle, but even king must listen to the truth. King Rudra was quiet. For the first time, he looked at the animals, not as a subject, but as his friend. He took a deep breath. I was poor and blind. I am sorry, he returned to the crowd. I cancelled the tree cutting. We will protect our forest. The forest cheered. Birds flew high, monkeys danced, and the river sparkled. Mitra, the little parrot, smiled. From that day on, Mitra became the voice of the forest. Even Lion Rudra would ask Mitra, what do you think? So, dear children, the jungle teaches us an important lesson. The truth may be small, but it is powerful. Never be afraid of speaking the truth. Jungle music fades out, and birds are happy.